Okay, customer contact strategy. So I love sharing this topic because it has the potential to unlock a huge amount of value in your business and build your future pipeline very easily and from quite a surprising source. So the customer contact strategy sits within the maximizing customer value section of the business growth formula. And the reason that it's such an exciting thing to look at is that you're already sitting on a gold mine of value. That is, your existing customers and contacts. And it's based on the principle of acres of diamonds. So I don't know if you've heard of this story, but there's a farmer living in Africa back in the day when diamonds were being discovered all over Africa. And the farmer heard of this, and in his excitement, he sold his farm and went to seek his fortune on the diamond line. Unfortunately, he never found any diamonds and eventually killed himself. I know, great story. Years later, the new owner of his farm discovered a funny looking rock, which turned out to be one of the largest diamonds ever discovered, and the farm became one of the richest diamond mines in the world. So, the story is basically to illustrate the value of developing the land you're on before you go and look for opportunity elsewhere. And the idea is that your existing clients and contacts are your own acres of diamonds, and there's hugely untapped potential in any business. So, all of our clients will continue to buy from us for years to come. So, it's our job to look after them, to nurture the relationship, and educate them on what they can buy from us rather than somebody else. We can also enable them to further support our business by requesting testimonials and referrals from our happy customers. So, the best way to do this is to keep in touch with your customers and contacts with a regular, possibly monthly newsletter. So, a few stages to do this. Firstly, you need to capture the customer or client contact details. Secondly, stay in touch. I recommend a monthly newsletter. It can be either printed and sent by the post or via email. And thirdly, make it worth them reading it. So you want to be including compelling content, having maybe a monthly special offer, and perhaps a monthly prize draw. And we're going to look at all of these 3 points. So, firstly, how do you capture their contact details? Well, the first section here applies mainly to B2C businesses, so business to consumer, business to individual. So, this is helping businesses like stores, or sometimes it's people with free challenges who might get hundreds of sign-ups. But if you are business to business with a smaller client base, it's still worth thinking about how do you capture the contact details of your clients and potential clients so that when they come into contact with you, they want to stay in touch. So, business to consumer businesses that operate in person. A great way to capture contact details is to ask them to fill out a free membership card or an exclusive membership club, which gives them access to certain member benefits like customer events, and special offers. So remember the work we've done on lifetime customer value and remembering that there's always a cost to marketing your business, often time, often financial, usually both. So be willing to offer incentives, firstly, for people to share their details with you and join the membership club or mailing list, and ongoing benefits and incentives to help them to stay engaged and keep using your products and services. So there is a couple of examples in the workbook that may or may not apply to your business, but think about what might work best and if there's any wording you'd like to lift. So pause this for a second and read them through. I think they're on pages 3 and 4. Okay, so let's first look at the ABC Members Club. So this is for using for basically any business to consumer business. So where it's a business looking for individuals. So please note there's a 50% off incentive to join, but this could be any offer. And look at all of the value adds promised. So there's incentivization to join, to actually open, and then to read the newsletter. Note as well the inbuilt referral scheme. And it might be that you want to incentivize something like this even further, but test and measure, see what works. And they ask them to hand the membership card in at the desk. Highly recommend anything like this, keep it simple. Get them to literally write down their email. If you need them to do anything more than the minimum, you're probably going to lose them. So I've been in stores where I've had to go online and register to get a discount, and I could not be bothered to do that. Yeah, so keep it as easy as possible to ensure that they sign up. Then there's the restaurant one. So this is similar. Note there's a free prize draw incentive to incentivize them to sign up. Also captures birthdays. So this is useful if you have the systems in place to allow you to send out special offers on people's birthdays. Again, a built-in referral scheme and the GDPR bit at the bottom. So it reassures them and they'll be pleased that you're going to do the right thing and guard your customers' data. So this is all specifically looking at capturing client or customer contact details, but you can use a similar idea with a lead magnet for prospects. So we're going to discuss this in the next session because it's a meaty topic. But the great thing about these paper systems in the examples is you can capture data to send emails, physical mail, birthday offers, and you can even build in a referral scheme. And because you're offering a monthly special offer and a prize draw, it entices your customers to want to sign up to the list. And it's a good justification if they question you as to why you want their details, because it adds value to them. So always be looking for something that adds value to your clients. The key thing is you have an active system to capture their details and that you actively look to get people to sign up for it. Having the forms available, but not asking customers to fill them out, it's not going to work. Ideally, every customer or client will be on the list. So ask, ask, ask. Train your staff with a couple of easy sentences that explains the benefit to the client. And keep it easy. So it's either a paper form, it might be a tablet in store where they just input their details immediately into a form. If they have to do anything complicated, go online later, they're not going to do it. So how does this work for B2B clients? Well, many of you will have your customers or clients' contact details, and you can gain contact details for basically anyone you meet, networking or otherwise, through LinkedIn. But a key thing I want you to be aware of is only add them to your mailing list with their permission. So this is both for relationship purposes and GDPR purposes. There's nothing worse than finding somebody who has asked for your card, just wanted to add you to your mailing list without permission. It really burns the relationship. Please don't do it. It happens to me all the time. And yeah, it's not a good thing. So for networking contacts, I recommend being very strategic about it. There's very little point in networking if you don't follow up. So find the system that works for you and do it every time. So we'll be looking at lead magnets and simple funnels in the next session. So for now, let's just consider the actual invites. So my personal system is to use LinkedIn. So you can see my suggested wording that I use myself on in the workbook. It's not a foolproof system because not everybody I meet is in LinkedIn, amazingly, but many are, and they're actively using it. So I add every single person I meet networking. And then every couple of months, my lovely virtual assistant does a messaging blitz for all of my new contacts, inviting them to be on my mailing list and sharing the benefits to them. It's also possible to do this for your Instagram contacts, but you need to be very cautious and only send a couple of messages at a time to your key contacts because you can get your account blocked if it looks like you're spamming people. So don't do this, please. So the message says, hi, insert name. Please be sure you get the name right. Nothing worse than sending out the message with the wrong name on it. And it's, it happens, but try not to let it happen to you. I hope you're well. I've recently started a business growth strategies newsletter if you'd be interested to receive it. Every month, I share a simple, easy to implement tactic to help grow your business. One lucky recipient will also win a complimentary business coaching session each month, which could add huge value to your business. If you'd like to be on it, please enter your details here, or just respond with your email. Now, I should note, I don't actually do this anymore. I just purely go with my lead magnet. But this was very effective early on in my business. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them so they can either input their details themselves onto that form or just respond with the email. And honestly, it was me or my VA adding onto the form manually. Imperfect system, but keeping it easy for them actually gets them to sign up. So many people just responded, yes, please. So my VA then went onto their LinkedIn profile, got their email address and added them. I also drive signups from sharing the link in online networking meetings. So I drive traffic to it from my Instagram using my link tree. So if anyone's on Instagram and it's only linked to their website, if you use a link tree, it's just a website so you can share lots of different links. And I also had it in my Instagram highlights from posting it onto a story with a link in the sticker. So there's lots of things you can do. The key is to share the sign up link regularly. And you want to keep the sign up page simple, like just get their name and their email address. More info is great, but if it's a slow and annoying form, they might not sign up. So you want to keep it as quick and painless as possible. So my sign up page, currently on my website because I use Wix, and I now use their email service too because it integrates best. But it can be a standalone page if needed through a host site like MailChimp. So it doesn't need to be complicated. And if your sign up page is hosted on your website, ensure that there are big, bold call to action buttons, which we're going to do in a different topic, call to action in the Marketing Essentials, on the top right-hand corner. So I have two buttons. One is subscribe now, and one used to be called the Free Business Growth Guide. I think it's now called, oh gosh, it's like a free webinar that I run each month. Can't remember what it's called. You can check out my website, top right, successcoaching.biz. So they both actually take you to the same page on the site because the Business Growth Guide is just my lead magnet. But different people will respond to different buttons, and a lot of people sign up to both, which is quite interesting. I also have a pop-up which pops up 15 seconds after being onto my website. So the key thing is you want to drive people to take the action of actually signing up. So, final notes on getting people to sign up. Please have permission to add them, or you can get into trouble with GDPR, and it can be big trouble. So be sure to script the ask and train and incentivize your team to actually do it. So what the heck do you do with all this data? Well, it's pretty boring, but you add it to a database. So I recommend doing it both through a mailing list to host and something that you own yourself. So these details are so valuable, so you want to make sure you don't lose them. You can download them from your provider regularly because you never know when you might lose access for some freak accident. So you can have it in an Excel spreadsheet. You can have an actual CRM system like Salesforce or Infusionsoft if you want something more sophisticated. It really depends how you want to use it and how user-friendly you want it to be. Honestly, for a lot of my clients, a spreadsheet is enough. A lot of my clients have more complicated systems and they probably don't need them, but it's whatever you want to use. And bear in mind, it doesn't need to be you that does it. So you can outsource to an amazing VA. And if anyone's looking for introductions, give me a shout. I know a lot of people. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to build your database. So everyone I know, everyone I coach, they're all building a following through social media, but they can lose access to their accounts at any time. I know it's happened to people in, all people in all types of my clients at some point, and it's horrendous. So when you build your own contact list, nobody can take it away from you. So build it, capture it, keep it safe. So print it, have it saved, have it on your email. Okay. And interestingly enough, actually, a big thing that's coming out these days is actually using LinkedIn for newsletters. So this can work extremely well, as in it bills you a lot of people much quicker than signing up to a mailing list. But you can't capture the data in quite the same way. You can manage to export the data, but you don't get everyone's email address. So if you were to lose your LinkedIn account, so I personally do both. I put the same content out on LinkedIn as I put out in my newsletter, so that I can take advantage of both worlds. And I try to download the LinkedIn data as often as I can. But I am very aware that it's imperfect. Not all of the data that I need is on there. So have a think. Do you already capture contact details from prospects and clients? Some of you are like, yes, I am all over this. Some of you are like, what? No. If you do it, great. How do you do it? And does this system work? If you don't do it, how might you do it? What might work for you? For those of you already doing it, like, what could you do differently? Is there anything you could do better, or any changes you could make that might encourage more people to sign up? So what do you think you're going to do going forwards? Pause, make some notes, have a think. Okay, the monthly newsletter. So once you've got people's contact details, you can keep in touch. I recommend about monthly. You don't want to do it too often because it's annoying, but it wants to be enough that you stay visible to people. And the whole idea is that you stay in their subconscious. So one of my former clients sends weekly newsletters, and actually they're very well received. They're value packed, they're interesting, but most people aren't going to do them as well as her, and it's going to be annoying. So test and measure to see what works best for you. Also, consider what form the contact should take. So almost everyone I know sends newsletters by email. And I do this myself because it's the easiest and it's the most time and cost efficient route, but it's not necessarily the most effective. Consider for a second how many emails you get each day. Tens, hundreds, hopefully not thousands. Fingers crossed for you, but it's a lot. And how many items of post do you get each day? Not that many. So it might be worth considering an old school printed newsletter that you actually mail out through the post. Slightly crazy, but we don't receive that much physical mail these days. So everything's online. So a printed newsletter can really stand out. Honestly, it may or may not be worth it. This is for you to decide. It costs more to get it printed. It's faff to get it posted. The posting's expensive. But if you have the resources, and for certain companies, it might be a good idea. Or it might be that you have a printed version that you send to a handful of key prospects that would be dream clients. So work out, what do you want to do? And if you're using email, please, please, please use a specific mailing list provider like MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Wix, whatever. It increases your chances of your email being opened. If you use Gmail and Outlook, your accounts could get shut down because they are not for mass mailing. So make sensible choices, people. So why would you send a newsletter? Well, it keeps you in people's minds. So you want to become the go-to. So when people think, business coach, I want them to think of me. When people think Wix website, I want them to think of Kaylee, one of my gorgeous clients. When people think domiciliary care, I want them to think Amora Care, another of my clients. And seeing you pop into their inbox regularly really helps with this, even if they don't open a newsletter. They see your name, and before they delete it, as long as they don't unsubscribe, they're going to keep seeing your name and remember until one day when they need your services, you pop into their head. Now, this might sound depressing, but remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So the key thing is not actually to get everyone opening it. It's just that people stay subscribed until they need you and start engaging and reading. It's a long game. And actually, an average open rate is 20%. Blimey. So keep your expectations low. I'm delighted to say mine is significantly higher. But, 20%. So not everyone's going to open and read immediately. So a newsletter also enhances your reputation and it positions you as an expert, which is really important. And it's something we're going to be increasingly building on over the coming months, and something which topic Dominate Your Niche really focuses on. This should be something you do towards the end of the success method, Dominate Your Niche, because everything else lays the foundation for it. So it should be editorial, your newsletter, not sales. You want to be adding value to the client through advice and sharing knowledge. So make it focused on your clients and how you can help them, not about you. That said, do showcase testimonials and case studies and showcase your own clients to add value to them. It helps you to build relationship with your clients and contacts. And importantly, it showcases the range of products that you offer. So it might be that your client needs some of the products that you offer, but they don't even realize that you provide them, or they might not have even realized that that product exists. They might be about to buy it from elsewhere. So do yourself a favor and mention the breadth of things that you offer, occasionally in a sales way, but more often in a testimonial or in a case study, or just sharing news. So special offers. Always good to put one of these out in your newsletter. So have a think about, what do you want to push this month? What might your audience be needing at this time? What is going to be attractive to people who already use some of your services? And what might be attractive to previous clients who are still on the list? Can you showcase a new offering? Or perhaps it's an offer for new clients who are yet to work with you. So each newsletter showcase just one offer. A confused mind says no. So do a different one next month, just one per month. I also love having a prize draw because this can keep people staying on your newsletter. And depending on what you offer, it can be a total winner. So look for something that adds value to the client and it's a reason for them to engage and read your newsletter. So in my experience, so I personally offer a complimentary one-to-one coaching session for the winner each month. And people who have one coaching session with me usually come back for more, or they might be interested in one of my other offerings. So that's what I personally offer. And you can mention your referral scheme at the bottom of the newsletter as well. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with the referral scheme, look back to the referral scheme session. Highly recommend implementing that. Newsletters also help bring back previous customers. So it helps them to remember you and come back to you rather than someone else when they need your services again. And it's also a great way of converting prospects who weren't previously ready to buy. And as I said before, it might not be opened, it may be deleted, but as long as people don't unsubscribe, and people will unsubscribe, but you're hoping to keep most people, they will keep seeing your name over and over, month by month. And one day, months, possibly even years from now, when they need your services, they're going to remember you, and then they'll open and then they'll engage. So it's key to be sharing editorial content and not sales. So add value to your content through sharing advice and knowledge. Make it all about your clients, how you can help them, and it's not about you. So really focus on your target market. Who are they? What are they interested in? What are their needs, wants, frustrations, challenges, and fear? So talk about the stuff that really matters to them. Remember to use strong headlines to get things read, both in the email header and in your subheadings within the body of the email, because the first hurdle after getting the email delivered is to get it opened. So consider all the emails that hit your inbox. An intriguing headline is going to pull the reader in and get them to open. And once it's opened, generally your reader is going to scan for 10 to 20 seconds and decide if they're going to read it. Honestly, I'm not even sure this. I personally scan that long. I think with me, you've got 5 seconds. So keep it short, relevant, and interesting and pull people in. So you can use pull quotes that interest and intrigue the reader in like a sort of text box. And be sure it's visually appealing and easy to read. There's nothing worse than getting an email that is like small text that, yeah, you've lost people as soon as you do that. Also, put things in the body of the email. People aren't going to open an attachment. It's a step too far. You're probably going to lose them. Okay, so on to the juicy stuff. What content should you be including? Well, honestly, it's not an exact science. So try things and test and see what gets the best response. But people love human interest. So, you know, if you've been on holiday, some people share a bit about their family and their pets, including photos, get people much more interested. And I would be human. So I'm quite informal. Not many business coaches are, but for me, I want my clients and my prospective clients to really connect with me as a person. I'd have your monthly exclusive offer. You want to keep people on that list and add value. So maybe it's hints and tips. Maybe it's sharing, industry updates. Maybe it's an inspiring quote or a quiz. Maybe how to solve a particular problem. Some useful information. Maybe there's been some recent news or announcements relating to your industry, or maybe it's news and announcements relating to your business. I have one client that's going through a major rebrand at the moment. And help the readers to understand the benefits to them to keep them reading. And once new subscribers sign up, it can actually be really useful to have a few automated welcome emails that automatically come out before they join the main mailing list. So we're going to look at more detail on this next time. It's technically called a funnel. Give me a wave. I can't see it, but give me a wave if you are like, oh, funnel, that word terrifies me. Yeah, honestly, that's probably 90% of you watching this. And I'd say 80% of you didn't wave, but I love the 10% who did. Funnels aren't that scary. They're actually quite simple. So we're going to look in the next session at a suggested sequence. This was suggested in the book, The One-Page Marketing Plan by a guy called Alan Dibb. Fantastic book. Also a really nice guy. We are LinkedIn friends. But you'd want to have a welcome sequence that is something like a welcome to my my newsletter, and then maybe it's sharing a value-packed email helping them to better understand your expertise. Then maybe the next one is an email about who you are and what you do, and then a fourth email inviting them to schedule a call and actually have a chat. So that's funnels. But let's think back to newsletter content. So I'd love you to think for a moment, what newsletter content do you like to see? So I love a bit of inspiration. Maybe it's sharing like tools and techniques that I'm not aware of. Short, sharp, 2 or 3 paragraphs at the most. What do I personally engage with most? Love you to ask yourself that. Do you like to see personal content, people sharing a bit about themselves and their families. I personally love seeing a little holiday snapshot with some more sort of expert content below. And are there any topics from businesses that you know that you'd love to see? So just sharing what the sort of topics that some people might be sharing on. So my photographer clients, they might potentially be sharing on, what best to wear for a branding shoot, or perhaps it's around the time of year, the ideal places to be doing photo shoots in the spring, if it's spring. A PR agency might be, showcasing some wins by some of their latest clients, some of the places that they've got their clients featured. One of my electrician clients often shares photos of the jobs that he's done before and after. He has a wall of flame, which showcases some of the dangerous situations that he's helped fix. Builder clients, maybe they're sharing photos of and a bit of detail about, before and afters of jobs that they've recently completed. So have a think, what might your own or your next email newsletter, or are you going to go print and post? What might that look like? So take some time to plan. Have a look in the workbook for this. What are your customers' pain points? What are they worried about? What do they need support with? What interests them? And have a think what special offers or perhaps prize draws might appeal to them.